Okay, well I guess I want a different face on some of these videos, so here I am. And want to talk to you about nut placements. Nut placements are, if you get a good one, they could be just bomb or solid and you feel really good moving on them. And what I look for after looking at the quality of the rock around is I look for a crack that constricts towards the bottom and maybe out towards the front of the crack, and these little boulders actually work pretty good. And nuts come in a range of sizes, and what I'm looking for is maximum surface area contact with the rock. And you notice they're shaped, there's a little bit more of a curve on one side, so you might just try flipping it from one side to another and see which gives you the most surface area contact. And again, you can put them in this way or you could put them in this way. So we'll just do that here on this little vertical crack, and it looks like probably take, I think these are about the same size, or this one's slightly smaller. And that one works pretty good, so I'll put it in and I'll just look at the surface area and how it's contacting the rock. If I think I need to flip it around, could try it out the other way. No, it actually fits better this way. If I had a little bit smaller size, I might try, this is pretty good as it is, but I might try just a little smaller size, see if it gets seated in there a little bit better, like within the constriction. And then I usually just gently set them with just a little tug on the beaner and play around with it, like if the rope were to pull the piece out this way a bit, just to see how it might move. But seat it in there. That looks good. And then put a runner on it. Depending on how your rope's going to pull on that piece, I may even extend it just to ensure that I don't get any strange pulls on that nut, and I keep it in the same location. There's also a spot here, more of a horizontal crack that you could put in. Like sometimes you can slide in from the side and get a pretty good placement and even a horizontal crack. So, you know, if the direction of fall would have been that way, probably needs to be a little bit bigger nut. But that one's pretty good. You put, to whip them out, sometimes you need a little rock pick, sort of just bang on the end, but before you pull that kind of stuff out, you can just try taking the draw on it and ripping it up. Actually, this one's really well seated. Hopefully the production company brought a nut pick. But this one would probably work. There we go. Takes it out. Watch out, even. Yep, probably need a nut pick for that one. So they're pretty solid when you get them in. I don't know what else there is to say about these things. Sometimes I don't put them in as my first piece just because the rope is likely to, depending on how the rope travels, but it could pull up on that piece. I may be more likely to put a cam in as my first piece as I step away from the anchor to protect the anchor. But these are well worth carrying, and once you start to see the placements for them, they're really solid once you put them in.
So wires will come in a variety of sizes. I mean, you can have, you know, the larger, more commonly placed for protection. But also you can get them in smaller sizes. They can be used for protection, but you have to be quite questionable because of the surface area and what their strength will be. But if you have nothing else, I mean, they'll work. Right? Okay, these little brass wires are called RPs, and they're used for direct aid mostly. They're so small if you look at the size of my finger. But because they're made of brass and they're soft, they can be pounded into seams, and it'll hold body weight and allow you to get up, maybe to make a better placement. Okay, another use for nuts. If you happen to come across a piton and it's sunk back in so that a carabiner doesn't sit very well in there, so it's going to sit across the flat edge and pull, maybe break the carabiner and pull the piton. You can take the nut so that the nut is bigger than the eye of the piton. Shove it through. There you go. Now you've had something that can handle the edge, and then just clip your runner into that. Alright, so every once in a while you get a pin that's sticking way out, and you'd still like to use it for pro. So you can take your wires, pick one that's, you know, suitable, pull the wire back. There you go. So now you have a slider, put it over top, cinch it up as best you can. There we go. Push it back against the rock. There you go. Now I have something that'll cinch off a piton. Next thing, you know, of course, the quality of the rock is important. I mean, that's utmost. So if I put this behind a big loose block and I fall, I'll probably pull the block down with me. So I want to make sure when I place this that the rock is good. And then I'm going to go for as large a size as I can get away with, because I want to have as much surface area as possible, and the surface area in contact with the rock just makes that placement that much stronger. So here's an ideal crack. I can get my fingers in the top, goes down to fingertips on the bottom. There's a little bit of a pocket in there and a bit of an edge on right here. And I just take a look at my nuts, see which one's going to fit. This medium-sized one is the best. Slides in, goes all the way down to where it's tapered. So there's no way that's going to go back up unless it gets dragged back up. To prevent that, I just give it a snap